Good morning, everyone. This is Midnight Brands coming to you with prep on Wednesday, FOMC Day, March 22nd, 2023. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. There's a lot of really good levels from peeking at some of this prep overnight. So with that, as always, folks, we'll remind you, you're not financial analysts, advisors, anything of the sort. Nothing we say should be taken as any sort of buy or sell recommendation. And nothing that we talk about should also give any sense of projections of you're going to make X or Y or anything else like that. So with that, kind of a nice little ground rules as usual. We will go ahead and get started here. Gonna first get a couple more things just finalized for us before we start posting all of our fun stuff to our rooms and things here this morning. And so yeah, if you haven't heard from everybody and their dog, FOMC is today. The rate decision comes out at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, and then our good friend Jay Powell comes up at 2:30 to start talking. That's when you get the next kind of reaction. So, should be an interesting one for sure. For Wednesday, March 22nd. Prep link. Okay, we've got all of our good little fun stuff set up today, so I'm going to go ahead and get started here. We'll jump on our stream and get pumped. Do have to check one thing. I just heard some noise and verify real quick. Alright, and with that, we'll go ahead and jump on. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing great, and you?
Beautiful as always, my friend.
It's awesome. Always great to hear.
Yes, indeed. Today's gonna be an awesome day.
It'll be nothing out of the ordinary. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. The opposite of that.
Yep.
Just this, small little news event thing here this afternoon.
Yeah, nothing much.
I kind of feel like they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. Like, they do nothing, then oh my god, the world's falling. If they raise by 25 but say the wrong thing, or even slightly the okay-ish thing, they're damned. So it's just kind of whatever. I don't care. I do and I don't, right? Like, no control over what they do. If you saw the our prep kind of recap thing. Like, it was just crazy silly.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Now the next one is at 40, 60 something. Yep, just gorgeous.
So our prep yesterday, right? ABCD pattern kind of drawn out, trend line that we drew that morning, and then it connected right to the, I mean, shit. I mean,
Yeah.
it was that last hour bar too. I mean, that was crazy. Anywho.
Yeah, we got a little three drives today.
Nice.
Let me share with you here. Give me a second. I'm trying to figure out which chart did I draw it on.
Just remember to post it.
Man, I don't know how to forget. I really don't.
On mute for 1 second. All right. While you look for that, I did peek ahead at SVXY here. Added a couple other pieces in there, adjustments, whatever else. So you got your monthly pivot with full ADRs. It's still possible that it's going to line up right in that area. We're just gapping down a small little bit, about 30 cents. Beneath that, there's your tier 1 day cheat, your photo ADR, actually weekly photo ADR, which again is something new that we're starting to track and keep an eye on. I'm going to actually drag this one up here a little bit and care less about the photo ADR and more about the quarterly trend guide, reversal, and gap fill. Between there, we have the end of week, the tier 1 end of week expected move cheat stuff there with trend guide, reversal, 20-day and 50-day EMAs. It looks like there's some weekly anchored VWAPs over in that area too. By looking on the daily chart there, you can see with the kind of red horizontal rays. So again, that kind of sets up for what we've historically looked at and called the look. So you get responses when you get those two things combined, especially if it's a older dated weekly or daily VWAP, really just the age of the VWAP. So it's kind of a nice continuation trend is what we see off of those. So that gives us a little bit of pause, seeing that it's going to attack it from below. If we do get lucky and push through there, or sorry, if we stay in this area, I should say, you've got this kind of nice 3 cluster piece with monthly trend guide, weekly trend guide, trend strength reversal, kind of all in this little compact-ish zone. And then beneath there, in this case, it didn't really care as much about the photo ADR. It's there, but it's really more about making sure we capture that daily anchor VWAP from March 7th, and then the supply and demand zone that's there. And then really heading down that lower is your monthly trend guide 2, weekly pivot full ADR. The last 2 days were really really muted on SVXY. Had been trading that $3.5, $4 range, and so yesterday it was $1.30, and the day before that didn't even crack 2. So one thing potentially to keep an eye on here is if we do sell off, this thing's going to sell off as well. And so it's not unheard of for this thing to trade $5, $6, $7. in some of the extremes. So I would keep an eye potentially for this 200. The trend line down here that we've held a couple of times now is going to be probably in this area here. Let's see where that lines up. So 57.43, so that could be a div level to keep an eye on there. So that's our kind of our view, our take on SVXY there. It looks like it's already completed its ABCD. You could probably make a case that we could be setting up for something like this. Really break folks' hearts on the bull side. Excuse me, this will be over a couple of days. I wouldn't expect this to be a today thing. That'd be an $11 move on SVXY there. I don't know, we'll have to see, but at least that's kind of my thoughts on SVXY there. I don't know if you have any other thoughts. All right.
Looks great.
Doing a market, but I'd also keep an eye on this guy to the upside if we do really get going. That's only a $6 move. Spy. Okay, and gotta relink this real quick. Orange. And VIX. Come on, CL, you just won't go.
It's not doing nicely.
There it is. And because I clicked the wrong button a minute ago, it lost all the updates that I'd made already to VIX. So gotta move these things around here a little bit. know if I really care about this one here. I know why it's marked it, because it's got the structure and stuff in there. It's got the OpEx cheat, but yeah, we'll keep it there, but I don't really care for it much. So I don't think that's unheard of if we, depending upon what Powell says, what's in the release, for what are they watching, what are they not watching, to get the wrong thing and see a spike back up to the 30s. Wouldn't mind kind of if you're a bull, certainly wouldn't mind a kind of div right here at this lower area and do a lower high than these days back here a couple weeks, the other week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, at some structure, and then the tier 3 daily cheat there. What I don't like is it does feel like there's kind of zones it's way too much. Some of that's just the nature of the VIX and how it's choppy in general. The thing I'd probably watch for most, I'd say, would be the quarterly pivot 25 supply and demand. So that could actually be really interesting if you do something like this. I didn't connect those things perfectly, but if we were to do that, go tag the kind of thing that we've been starting to test with the weekly full ADR. Supply and demand area. No, I think that's looks reasonable enough.
There's no anchored view-ups on these?
On VIX? No, there's no volume on VIX.
Right, okay. But you could do the same thing with XPX. You could do with this SPX.
No, there's no, there's volume. If you were to track, say, the VX futures, then you've got volume and stuff. But like SPX has volume underlying by looking at all the other pieces, but VIX just doesn't.
Got you, thank you.
Yep. And SP, I have to see if because since I'm now using kinetic data for the index there, I'll have to see if they kept that, because I got originally with the one SPX index symbol from TD Ameritrade, like if you use daily you could get VWAPs. If you did it anything less than a day, then there was no volume. So I'll have to check now that I have that stuff, this data again. That'd be nice if there were, but yeah, no. In fact, if there were, it would show up automatically, because everything that the algo tracks, it tries to draw a anchored VWAP on, and if it's there, it'll pick up and include. But if there's no volume, then it just says, "Yeah, thanks for playing. You got nada."
GG. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't know GG, so.
You should teach it.
No, I'm not a gamer enough to matter there.
You're gonna be a gamer. You play the whole Matrix game. That's a game.
No, I don't need it breaking out. We've discussed not wanting to have, you know. We don't need Skynet. Okay, SPY. You know, if CL could get and kind of clear the 6950-ish area, it should get going, but it's got to clear this. It just hasn't. 6950 area and 70 area. Anywho. So added a couple of extras in here on SPY in case it gets going. 10, 12 bucks is not an unheard of number for SPY. So noted at the far top the weekly trend guide 3, quarterly trend guide 1, monthly trend guide. There's some structure and stuff we've noted in the past at that 411-ish area. It's also kind of the bottom edge of that kind of range we've been in for the last while. So you've got that there. Again, weekly full ADR was in the stuff on the other one, but it kind of lined up. This is in the middle. We're still trying to keep track of that. It's day 4 of even seeing it on our chart. So you also have a monthly anchored VWAP though between there, and I think with that we're going to actually notate with these gap fills and whatnot. Do a div here because that's the monthly anchor VWAP from the highs in 22 January. Yeah. So that's part of the pinch that we're in. That would be really interesting. If we take that out with some force and then clear it, then that's a good sign. But man, if we reject that again, then no bueno. Anyway, so moving on, so then you've got the weekly trend guide 2, the full ADRs or regular daily full ADRs are right there with supply and demand high. So we dragged that up a little bit so we grab the daily cheat and stuff there. Beneath that, you have your annual pivot to tier 1, end of week cheat or expected move, some structure. This trend line that's there, 402.31, you can see has been some in-string price responses here in the past. TGR is really just all by itself though. I mean, you could say there's some stuff through here, but just not a lot. And we are starting to actually make our way back there. Before we were going to look like we might open below it. Or down, I should say. Don't really care for how trend strength and trend guide are so close to each other. Maybe it's a little bit about $2, give or take, but they are still pretty darn close. But that said, the trend guide zone is a pretty nice one with trend guide, weekly trend guide, the look. So you've got your 20-day EMA in there, but you also have a weekly anchored VWAP, and depending upon what and how we move, the swing A VWAP from the 17th should come up and join there. one here on the
I
daily.
have a 3D over there on the probably drive on your already started. Started from the local suite, yeah. There to there, and then the other, and then copy and paste into the other dialog, and then it brings us into just slightly above TGR, but it also is where we liquidated to the downside on the rejection of the 20-day on the 9th. Yes, the 9th. It's like literally to the tip.
That would take us up to TG2. Yep. And depending upon how we open, it would open right at that, or it would take us down to the weekly anchored VWAP, 392-ish area. October lows, weekly anchored VWAP, March 13th. You could potentially div a little bit lower even. So we have the div here to capture that weekly anchored VWAP and stuff, but you got this gap fill just slightly below between that and weekly pivot.
Maybe I'm tripping, but there's also a rising wedge. But it, yeah.
Yeah, you get two touches off
I
of
only
it.
have two connected. But I mean, that works too.
You could take it to this bar there. You know, this one was just a poke and tag and an immediate fail. And then you get 3 touches off of it there. Maybe take it from the top of this candle here on the 10th, as opposed to the bigger one there. It's not quite 3 actually. It looks really close to it, but. Yep, so that's that guy.
That guy. Oh man.
It's also, we talked about the monthly one up here, but there's also a daily VWAP, you know, kind of, and weekly for that matter too. You know, it's February 3rd highs, like right where we're at. So that could also play in with your rising wedge piece, you know, and it's just right there at trend guide. Okay, so we made that actually a full zone. All right, now Q's. That's interesting. My OBS keeps disconnecting and connecting. Qs. That's not exactly a 50% retrace. But it is interesting the zone that it puts it up in, or div as it were. Especially if we take this, what are you at, 31670. It's really more of a zone at that point than a div, and we go up that high. Poorly constructed rectangle. Again, keeping an eye on the fact that everybody, bulls obviously want it to go up, but man, like we're really starting to push if we do that into some of these bigger side, sell side symmetrical extremes. Certainly not as high as the one in February there that was up at like 8% but definitely starting to get up there. Yesterday did a little, cooled off a little bit for the first couple of hours, with the pull and then kind of just basing around what is today's trend guide and then monthly trend guide reversal supply and demand, but yeah. And so on the daily, we're about to tag some structure there from September's highs. At the 311, which is up here. And we damn near tapped it yesterday. Came just shy of tapping that 311. No comments. I can hear the wheels turning. You could almost make the case actually to not have that as a div and just take this Hey, what are you doing? Just mark it like that. I don't think there's enough there that it really matters. I mean, the weekly anchored VWAP, weekly anchored VWAP is that's SPY there, so that's something else. So yeah, it's still the same thing. Yeah, so that's why it wants it down there a little bit lower. So just take it like that, and then I think that's good. Again, above that, you've got a nice, good size zone there. Because if you clear that, then you're kind of into open space for $3 or so. Quarterly trend guide 2, photo ADRs, supply and demand, weekly trend guide reversal. Nice little spot there, and like we said, above that you've got your really just a handful of things with your full ADRs, tier 1 weekly cheat. I mean, supply and demand, so you could just completely blow through that, even trade $12, something like that, and go tag the gap fill, monthly trend guide reversal, weekly trend guide reversal, and actually the daily cheat looks like it's way the hell up there. I think that's the tier 1 daily cheat actually. No, it's the tier 2, so 316. $16.97. It's hidden in here. So the daily cheat is right at the end of week cheat. So that's why you don't even see it on there. So that definitely makes that a little bit more important in my mind there, I think. Below you've got your monthly trend guide reversal, annual pivots, trend guide, 6 days in a row, structured 308, and then you got a couple of swing AV WAPs, gap fill type of div levels below until you get to the additional one that we marked, which has got the look set up with swing AV WAP. You also have daily anchor VWAP in that same vicinity with supply and demand, weekly pivot, and monthly pivot. And then we also noted the other two pieces lower with potential div to the tier 2, daily cheat, some structure, and then supply and demand. And then you fail that, and then now you're down to kind of your 50-day and tier 1 end of week cheat stuff, which $14 move, not unheard of for the Qs. On an FOMC kind of day. So, with that, I think we'll say that one's good. All right. ES. Make sure I have all of my right buttons set so I don't mess up my prep work that I already did. About to say, hey, what gives? All my stuff isn't there. Oh, we're looking at YM. Okay, so it looks like just a few updates from. So, like I said, I peeked at this last night and moved a few things around already. Photo ADR has moved up. Kind of moves it to a spot that I don't care about. There's, and the daily cheats are right there with gap fill. Excuse me. Why has it got the top of 4,000 there? I guess it doesn't. I moves it up there to capture the stuff, so probably pull it down, but then you lose the 50, and then you end up with a massive div level that's 20 points. Damn, it was cleaner last night when photo ADRs was down lower. Because I don't really want to have a div that's spanning 20 frickin' points in order to capture this gap fill and VPOC right here. Anchored VWAP right there. Again, I don't like how there's two back-to-back divs there. I guess
Trend guide zone, you're making that wide because you want to include the lower end of supply and demand.
Yeah, and you have the anchored VWAP there too, and then you've got NVPOC just right there. So it's kind of like if you're gonna tag NVPOC, you're so close to the swing anchored VWAP supply and demand. Like, why not grab it and then?
Let's see, the anchored VWAP that can move up, that moves up. So that'll be okay. At least on my chart here, where I'm looking, on the 20-day NVPOC that fill all the way to the 50-day, that's about 7 points. That's not a bad zone.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that maybe it's like this. So you grab this set of NVPOC gap fill and take it like that, actually. So you get the March 20th 4 a.m. swing AVWAP, gap fill NVPOC stuff there, and just kind of like the 50's there. It is important. So really, I mean potential will continue up and be higher. This 20 days still be in this zone here. And so if you treat it like that, if we do keep moving up, then photo ADRs can come into that zone as well anyway. And then it's kind of a nice 10-point zone there. Not pieces of evidence, but 10 points. With, again, the 2 gap fills, the daily cheat. Certainly some structure in through there too at this top edge. You see it just completely different. I'm smoking crack today.
What?
I said, I don't know. Do you see it completely different than I'm smoking crack today?
No, but no. Oh man, don't do that, dude. Sometimes I'm drinking coffee, bro.
What do you mean you have to buy new monitors? I'm sorry, honey. We're talking and people started, snorting crack and
sliding down freaking bowls, but I don't know what he's talking about. Anyways, I'm looking at the bigger picture. And I don't know, like if it's yeah, that's fine. I mean, the thing is, for me, I kind of like of course, the trend guide zone at the top end, but I have mine narrower. Because I'm just I really kind of don't really care about that secondary and VWAP. I mean, if it does come up, it'll join it. Whatever, it doesn't really interest me. I do, of course, care about the actual little minute swinging for VWAP from the 19th there, or whatever day that is. Because that joins, you know, that 20 day and also the 50 day, so just above. So that's a little bit more meaningful. So maybe
You could also
like have
treat it just like that. I mean, the thing is, if you don't include this supply and demand and VPOC, like, are you gonna say, oh, forget it and ignore, like, because you're talking 40-13 to, again, my supply and demand is probably different than what yours is there. So we're talking 40-13 to 4009-ish. Yeah, let me put it on the daily for perspective. That's
what I was gonna say is so we can up that and then the 50 day with the 20 days swinging could be off, and then your gap fill and VPOC, and then have the expected move photo ADRs, have that as just a slight dip zone. If you lose that, you pretty much see all the wide open space that you have.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, so kind of like this adjusted
all
piece
the way
then.
down to the 20 day.
Yep. Yeah, if we lose that that full ADR 200, then, and that's really just a div. Like, you're gonna attack that weekly pivot, tier 2 cheat, 30-week SMA, supply and demand, and then you lose that, then you're probably more likely than not going to take out the lows we had on Friday. That is. No, Monday.
Do you have a RTH chart? I don't know. It just seems a lot clearer to me on the RTH chart.
I'd have to duplicate this. Give me a second.
That's all good. Don't worry about it. Because I was just looking at the RTH chart. It just kind of looks a lot cleaner. Figure out what okay. I want this zone.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, really, if we break it up this way, I think that's a little bit clearer. So you get your 20-day, the kind of more important swing AV WAP from the 20th lows. Yeah, 20-day, 50-day, gap fill and VPOC, and then a secondary kind of smaller-ish zone with NVPOC, gap fill, photo ADRs there, the expected move cheat stuff. Yeah, that's on the downside.
Let's think about the grading. Like if you were to grade that, so the trend guide zone, maybe I don't know if I want that as a 2.
No.
And then yeah, so like a 1, and then coming down to the 20 day, 50 day. I'd probably put that as a 2 maybe.
I think so, because if you look left there, you also have this kind of structure stuff here that we were playing with, and then that kind of gap fill and VPOC there. It was also is this Friday's highs? Yeah, this was Friday's highs. Are right there. And I'm sure if I continue zoom, yeah, there's definitely some stuff there at that level there.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree. Like
What were you gonna say about the upside?
the upside pieces. So first one you've got is your annual pivot, gap fill, trend guide reversal. And then there's a sneaky NV right here, right at the supply and demand. At first I thought my supply and demand zones got messed up and they had some funky gradient on them, but no, there's an NV right there. It's really just a div though. It'd probably be watching more for the weekly trend guide 2, photo ADR, supply and demand, gap fill stuff up there, as well as the tier 1 expect and move stuff at that spot. And then if you take that out, then really now like there's structure and things going back through there, but you're really starting to go towards some of these bigger upside ones, taking it back to February.
Yeah. Because that's we had some nice, from March 6th, we had a nice little consolidation, like it stalled and then just, went down all the way. Yeah, it was a pretty big
Right.
zone right there from that 475 to 48.1.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I was thinking like it's a div there at that bottom edge of supply and demand, the end of week cheat, the top edge of the trend line, but then through there, why not div, trap, a bunch of bulls and stuff, expecting that bigger move up, close your gap fill, your NV your weekly trend guide reversal 2 stuff, and then pull back. Yep. Man, the stinking CL just won't go anywhere. I'm done watching it. Alright, well he is away, gonna pull up NQ. Make sure all my stuff is right. Yes. Okay, so in looking at NQ, I'm trying to think where we start there. And at that point, we're so close to. But you want to grab that gap fill, so it'd be a 60-point zone. It is NQ, it likes to overshoot. I guess you could actually duck that. Treat it like that. So then you get beneath there, you've got some structure and stuff with supply and demand. You also have a smaller one there. I don't know. Ooh, glad I exited that CL. I don't know if I really care about this one as much. Especially because full ADRs came down overnight. So I'd worry more about, you got your end of week expected move stuff there, quarterly trend guide 2, daily expected move, full ADRs, and then beneath you've got the kind of bigger stuff with weekly trend guide reversal, monthly anchored VWAP, some structure there through the 13,800 level and stuff. Yeah, I think that monthly anchored VWAP from the highs is a pretty key one there too. And then if you don't go and grab any of that, then you've got this trend guide reversal, naked VA stuff there from, I think it was the 2nd. Oh no, it's even further back, so it's probably from back in August or something that it's from. Under that, and kind of where we've been overnight is trend strength, reference point, gap fill. There's a really sneaky NVPOC here yesterday, right at the supply and demand. So that's just right there from yesterday. It's not as much weight for me as if it were from months and months ago. Under, you've got trend guide, yesterday's lows, definitely some structure looking left here through last week and this week and stuff at the bottom edge of that. And then you get into this kind of bigger zone with some gap fills and then VPOCs, some more in VPOCs with this annual pivot, monthly trend guide, reversal, etc. We do have a div there. And then further, you got March 13th, Tier 2, daily cheats, expect to move, etc. But you also, bigger picture piece, have the look set up there with swing AV WAP, daily anchor VWAP, 20-day EMA, etc. That's a kind of nice bigger zone to me. And then under that, you've got your monthly pivot structure at that 12,339-ish level. And you really got to hold that, or else it's going to get really fugly. So, I mean, I'd say you really got to hold this. Yeah.
Back to me, Brody. What's up?
I'm just about ready to mark up NQ. I think that not much really changed from overnight. The other than the one zone just between the or just above the quarterly trend guide 2 full ADR piece. Full ADRs came down and joined that zone. So got rid of that one at 13 156 140ish level. Is really kind of by itself anyways, with just the supply and demand, average ADR tier, etc. So really just that goes away, and then you just end up with that zone there. And probably the bigger piece on the downside is you're going to see the 20-day join up into that zone with weekly pivot, March 13th, daily anchored VWAP, swing A VWAP right there, supply and demand, and tier 2 expected move sheets. So that's, I mean, A, that'd be a massive sell. But it's a hold zone for sure. Like, it's got to hold there. We're really going to push down. Because I don't think there's anything that joins up with the 50. No, not from the looks of it. So, I don't know, to me that's NQ.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep. I did note, if you didn't see, there's a kind of sneaky NVPOC from yesterday right at the bottom edge of the supply and demand that we've been playing with. It's just from yesterday, so I don't give it as much weight as if it were, from 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago or something like that. But it's just right here, and it's from yesterday. But it's right at the bottom edge of that supply and demand at the 12,800-ish level.
Figure out here what the heck I did. I drew a big box on NQ.
Don't trade in this level type of thing.
No, I think it was like a level of interest, but it's huge. It's almost 200 points wide.
Yeah, that sounds a little too big there.
Yeah, that's what she said. Oh man.
I'm not touching that with
A 10-foot pole.
with Nico's pole.
You just made it worse. Oh man.
Okay, RTY. I want to go quickly through RTY and YM. Hey, I don't. Hopefully nothing much moved. YM was a nice one yesterday for a fade on it. It doesn't look like anything really changed on YM from what I had tweaked last night on it. So definitely responding to its buy side SEs there. Got into the tier 3 grouping on the lows at the negative 8%. Is now just kind of holding this trend strength zone as well as the swing A VWAP from, I guess, February, beginning of March highs. So pretty simple zones to me on that one. Oh yeah, look at that. It's we got the daily anchor VWAPs right in that same spot there. It's one though, like if it loses some of these zones below, like we could very easily go back, and in reality we're not too far away either from some of these zones back here. And again, I know it's still only a couple days into testing, but the weekly full ADRs are way back down here at the 1662 type of levels. not a today thing. I don't think. Yeah, I didn't. This one didn't get picked up because it's pretty far below there, the 100 points. That's definitely a possibility one there in my mind. RTY. Almost forgot to post this stuff in the other room. Okay, YM. Go. Yeah, no, the 15th was the lowest. Yeah, I don't think I messed a lot with YM actually here overnight. Yeah, because I didn't even bother to include the full ADRs. It's kind of by itself. It's supply and demand there, and it's already traded its photo on the weekly side. I found that quite interesting, as I noted elsewhere. Okay, so you got MPP, cheat, NBA. 50 days should come down and join that. Yeah, and full ADRs moved around on me. Would keep an eye though on this kind of NV POC. Could join with that zone. Okay, and then CL. I have this as a wider zone here on CL. With the quarterly trend guide, trend strength, and whatever else, it is definitely wider, but it just kind of feels like, you know, what are you gonna? You're either gonna make the monthly trend guide zone big with daily trend guide, or like it's pretty tight together. I mean, yesterday's ADRs was smaller than the ones we've had over the last several days, so it's definitely messed with some of this on the display side there. So at least to me, like, I was just combining that as one, and we've been trying to hold this trend guide reversal, 69.23-ish level. I've been watching it now for the last little while. I even tried a long off there and said, finally, screw it. It doesn't want to break above the 69.80-ish level. So, and you have a swing AV WAP there coming down, so that certainly not helping matters either. I'll bet you there's probably a 5-minute one there versus the 60 that has been shoving it down the whole time. And then above that, you've got your weekly pivot gap fill right there, and then that AV WAP that we've been talking about just now. Keep going. You got your trend guide and the what was that? Yeah, kind of 10-day low volume node. I think it was last week's as well. Can't see with what's in there. Yeah, 10-day and last week low volume nodes were right at that trend guide reversal level, but just doesn't want to get above this weekly pivot right now. You can see how it's tested it there, last week, and then it's tried going against it a couple times. It just doesn't even want to get past that gap fill and swing anchor VWAP stuff there. So if we do fail, then you've got kind of a nice little zone there with trend guide, gap fill, the anchor VWAP from the lows, and the tier 1 expected move daily cheat stuff. And if we fail that, then there's definitely some things in there with point of controls and whatnot, but it's really kind of open space until you get to full ADR, and then the monthly trend guide stuff even further below. And then if we do finally take that on, there are definitely some nice things above, especially if you get up towards that full ADR, monthly trend guide reversal. The daily anchor VWAP is lower than the 20-day, but it is kind of not too far away. You go up and tag those and then reverse off of it potentially. So to me, that's CL. It's not bad.
No, it's pretty good. I like it.
Are you whispering to it now?
Wait, what?
It sounded like you were whispering to it.
I mean, if that doesn't that help me at the end of the day, sure. I whisper to it all day.
You were weird.
I am. Beautiful thing.
Little do we know how right Dave was.
He knew for sure. Yeah, this I really like to see how I'm looking at the the 4-hour chart. I mean that swinging to view up joins the expected move. The daily body with supply and demand. And there's also like, I mean, shit, it's really good. I'll send it to you.
Pretty nice hold yesterday of the on GC. Oh, you sent me the. Let me pull that up real quick and pull it over.
This is a 4-hour chart, by the way.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
see on the flyer wigs, like look at all those the closes. So those are just like wigs, and that's pretty much near that supply and demand and swinging review up.
Yep.
So it's like we could, if we come back down there, look for that to hold and then continue higher.
Yep. Yeah, I like that.
Where we lost the level, which is MS1, and then you have also the swinging review up from the highs on the 6. Yep, the 6.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Okay, so then on GC there, it's kind of cool seeing how it monthly trend guided acted as resistance. Now it's flipped and trying to act as support. You've got the gap fill there from yesterday, but it was also last week's high volume area. Which is like the 68 side percent, whatever that is, on the other side of the point of control. So nice kind of hold of that one. And then it's also, as you can see, the gap anchor VWAP is right there too. So pretty nice view on that one in our mind. Gotta get a hold of it really all night long. I mean, most of the stuff just hasn't moved a bunch. ES did move a bit, but it held the swing AV watt from lows. Gold's pretty much held its spot. Like everything just sitting there waiting for what J Powell is going to say today. So the rest of its levels look pretty clean to me. It does have some really kind of must hold. Like it really needs to hold some of this stuff there at trend guide reversal and stuff there. Otherwise, I mean, it could get nasty. You do have things there with the photo ADR and whatnot, but man, it starts to lose those, and I think this could get nasty if it doesn't hold this area. Now that's there's nothing that joins it. The weekly anchor VWAP is just a tad below the 20-day, February 17th. But I do like it. It looks CL to me is probably the cleaner of these two. It's still overall not bad, and definitely nice reaction too off the 20-day. Got everybody all excited. We was trying to short on Friday, and then a little push up overnight and stuff, and then just fade really since Sunday night's Lovex opening. Anyway, that is GC. Gonna go ahead and mark it, and then we will call it quits. Unless there's something else you want to take a look at.
No, that looks beautiful, my man. Appreciate you.
Photo ADRs moved down, so that's actually not a ADR zone anymore. But that's okay. Alright.
Alright, boss man. Another fantastic prep. I appreciate you. I wish you a fruitful and fantastic day today.
Thanks, you too. Appreciate it. You have a good one, and we'll chat with you later.
Sounds good. Take care.
Thanks, Ben. All right, folks, and that is it. That gets us through prep here today. Overall, a pretty good session there, I think. There's a lot of really good, interesting zones set up in there today, especially on things like ES and CL there. CL probably looked about the cleanest. Probably going to kick ourselves for having gotten out of that entry earlier. See what it does here at the weekly pivot. It's looking like it might try to reject here again. In any event, like we said, remember we are not financial analyst advisors. Nothing we say or do should be taken as any kind of buy or sell recommendation. Do your own diligence to vet things out, and have a good one. We will catch you all later.